My best quality is my unwavering allegiance to myself. I know who I am. If you don't or you can't figure it out,
Oh man, I just went through this whole thing. Thank you. Uh, are you on mute? Of course I'm on mute. So, did everybody survive the end of the world? I know I did, but I think that there's another part to the end of the live. Salty's backstage, and Salty and I are salty today. And did anybody catch it? Did anybody catch any of the claptrap garbage blurgity blur that happened yesterday? If you forgot or if you don't know, I'm going to bring Salty Sleuth up in a minute. But if you don't know, I'm not sure where you have been. Bless your hearts. But Tricia Grifty McFarty Pants has continued to leverage and utilize Cresha Colby. Cresha is JJ Vallow, Tyler Ryan, and Charles Vallow victims. And I'm just getting into the Woodcock Vallow side of the family here. We're all victims of Lori and Chad. And every year, and Tricia thinks it's hilarious to go ahead and just have an end of the year bash because it was just so much fun. Because Chad Daybell predicted the end of the world. She finds this hilarious and goes and sleeps on stream and raises money for Othram and DNA Solves, which are both multi-million-dollar for-profit companies. Last year, she did put in a sort of like all the way down at the bottom, a link to JJ's school. But I didn't notice any of that. So I really want to talk to Salty. I really want to hear from everyone. And good morning. Good morning, Ski Utah. Good morning. And let me bring Salty on up because I was texting this poor woman at like 6:30 a.m. Oh, where are we? Hey, Salty, can you hear me?
I can. Good morning. How are you?
I'm, living the dream.
We were up early.
Oh, hair on fire. But Salty, if people don't know you, can you kind of talk about, I think I pinned you in the chat, but I also shared your links. But can you tell people a little bit about who you are and what you've covered and maybe how you got to this end of the world situation?
Well, I got to the end of the world situation kind of like everybody else did. I didn't know she did this thing every year. But I am Salty Sleuth, and I'm out here trying to reason with hurricane season at the moment. So I live on the Gulf Coast in Florida, and I true crime all the time. And I cover a lot of true crime cases. A lot of the cases they're going to be talking about in this first part one of the end of the world party, I know well, and caught some things in there because I fell asleep off and on. I would wake up and see something and hear something. I'm like, oh my goodness, But so I've been covering true crime for a long time, and I don't like it when I'm constantly seeing families drug, victims drug, and it's become a thing, right? And it's just, I don't think people can grasp how how bad it really is at times. And it's troublesome and it's bothersome.
Yeah. And I think for me, you know, and you and I have spoken about this before, is that I came to this through the hidden true crime and the Delphi trial. I mean, I've not been in this a long time, and Salty, you know, has been out here for longer, well longer than I have doing this stuff. But I was shocked when we came across Delphi, and I mentioned Delphi because this part one of End of the World, or God Almighty, whatever it is, they talked about Delphi. They brought in a known, in my opinion, known agitator who's no good, Aspen Connor, who,
Mm-hmm.
as some sort of expert. We also know that they're going to talk about a really disturbing case, and I'm going to lean into Salty on this because it's the horrific unsolved case of the four little girls in Florida, four little Black girls in Florida, which is a stone's throw from Delphi, Indiana, that remains unsolved to this day. And we're also going to have a little bit of Joe Schmo in here, who, if anybody's been watching for long enough, went to bat for Lauren Matthias in her relentless pursuit of injustice, in my opinion, against Christina. So I wanted to start, and Salty, you let me know what you think. What do you want to, do you want to start with? You know what? Actually, let me just put this up here and see what we're dealing with, because I want to talk about the absolute superstar lineup that she has here. First of all, I'm going to take everybody off screen, and I am going to make fun of these mother scratchers because they're make fun of worthy, in my opinion. So am I missing something? Did we not have an all-star lineup set up for this? Am I misremembering the thumbnail?
I thought she said she did, and I didn't see any of those people last night except for Aspen and the surprise guest of Joe Schmo. And then the 10 slots she had available for people to come join their pajamas. I think one girl joined. We should have went up there with our pajamas, Andy.
A girl, listen, I should have set an alarm for the middle of the night, or just gotten up when one of my hot flashes started. And just been like, but I want to know, actually, I didn't realize that Granny from the Beverly Hillbillies was still alive.
I'm saying.
Oh!
Dude, I don't know what happened to you, guy. I only knew of this Aspen Connor guy from around the YouTube streets here, and I would hear his name here and there. I never didn't know who the guy was. Never watched one thing he ever did. I've heard tell was all up in the Delphi stuff, but I never watched one thing this guy did on Delphi. And I watched. I was in deep in Delphi. Never watched one thing this guy did. And then when I didn't review all of it because I wanted to wait.
Yeah.
But what a little bit I reviewed of him talking about Flora and trying to make a separation with Delphi was mind-boggling to me.
Right. And so, you know, we're making fun of, and I'm making fun of this nonsense here because it's ridiculous if it weren't so damaging, in my opinion, to the families. And we'll get into Tricia and Kay and Larry, who will be. And the interesting part that I didn't see any mention of them, at least in the parts that I've reviewed, which I think, unless you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I haven't seen any of that yet. And I think that that is a good thing so far. But this is serious. These people are actually serious. When I say serious people, they are taken seriously by people in positions of what I consider YouTube power, which is really nothing overall, but it means something to some people. So large platforms, being able to have access to victims' families, like Aspen Connor. I know he became good friends with family of the girls in Delphi, Abby and Libby, which is just a no-no in my opinion. And then go on to this stream, ostensibly to celebrate the so-called end of the world, according to a man who is now sitting in prison on death row for the horrific murder of two gorgeous little kids, his own wife, and Mr. Charles Vallow. So It's serious to me.
It is. And
Mhm.
for her to use that as a ploy to hold a fundraiser annually in the honor of the victims, and using something that was horrible that Chad was doing, right? Why even, you can do this and do it legitimately without even bringing Chad Daybell into the damn picture.
Well, I think yes, and the thing is, I think that is, that was, from what I can gather, obviously that was what Kresha, and to some degree, I believe, Colby, when they were distancing themselves from these people who, again, anybody that saw the crime con photos, it was all our usual suspects here, including Lauren and Grayson and Tricia and this Aspen creature. But and so those things to me draw a lot of parallels as to how they operate in the world and what they think is appropriate, and not even judging the fact that it's not funny, that it's not funny. I mean, do something, but to your point, Salty, about them, and this year, I know that there was a lot of pushback to her leveraging the kids, and all of that bullshit. And so, I think that some of it may have resonated, at least at this point. God Almighty, I don't think they got a clue. I don't think they got a conscience, and I do not think they got a heart, but I do think they heard stuff loud and clear.
Maybe.
So far.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I think they feel like in their minds they're right at all costs. They're not wrong. They're not doing anything wrong over here. They're just fundraising and bringing awareness to what, I don't know,
Mhm.
themselves maybe. But to sit here and after year and celebrate, and they can call it what they want. They're celebrating some bullshit that Chad Daybell said and did. And
Oh my God,
bringing it
Nick.
up every year is ridiculous. If you want to do good for families and do good for charities that support families and victims, do that and do it right.
Yeah.
Money gets messy on YouTube real fast. I don't really care to drop links for money donations
Right.
anywhere for anything.
Mm-mm.
I will tell if it's a case and there's a family, and I will say they have a GoFundMe available, you guys, but I don't encourage that because I know I've been around too long and I don't want no part of it.
No.
But
No.
I just feel like the whole thing is gross, and she uses it, and then she wants to come out here and sit on her high horse like many people on YouTube and preach to the masses how we're all wrong and she's all right. And that's ridiculous. And if you can tell by the chat alone, I feel like there's a lot of lonely people who may not have a large private life or community to fall on, so they rely on these friendships on the web.
Right.
I don't mean to be mean or insulting, but there was this old community I was a part of, and I swear I called them all the old cat ladies because this guy had them all duped 1,000%, and it felt like that's what was supporting him at that. It was a lonelier people that just tried to find that companionship, and so it's dangerous for communities when creators come out here and run amok and act foolish. It affects the community's bottom line.
Yes. And I think that when, and you and I had a conversation, and then I want to pull up the snippet you sent me, because I do think that these people, including Tricia and everybody that I've talked about, at least, over the last whatever year since I started looking into Delphi, and the people covering Delphi specifically, is that there's a lot of becoming a victim and centering themselves and continually centering themselves as victims of other people online, right? So that's a Tricia situation. She did it again, I think yesterday, or maybe it was, no, actually what you sent me was from last night, when she supposedly got a disturbing message in the middle of the night to make her, to again, center herself as a victim of this online supposed bullying. And this is just, it's just bullshit is what it is. And so even within this stream where she's, I mean, look, I don't know where Chad's kids are on the spectrum anymore of believing or not believing, but the people like, what about Tammy's family? Why? So, you know, there's another side of this victim. There are so many victims in this case. And I am just struggling to understand because they keep saying, when I say they, I mean, Tricia and Stacy say they've talked to family members who are cool with this. Who is that exactly? Right?
I don't know who the hell they're talking to.
Well, I got an idea, and it's one person that shows up over and over again. But
Megan?
Yes.
So Megan told them it was okay to go and talk about family members that aren't hers. Yeah, I agree. I'm here for it. If we're going to speculate about Megan, we can do that. So Megan is not related to the victims.
That's right. Goddamn
She's related to the criminal who committed the crime. So sit down, dumb cousin.
Go.
We don't need your permission to talk about anybody's family.
Not
even your own.
Well, and the reason I bring it up is because wasn't it both nights or whatever they're doing? Wasn't she supposed to be coming on?
Well, yesterday's thumbnail and title description, it listed her and Lauren, but I didn't see either one of them make an appearance last night. Maybe they're reserving that for tonight, you know.
The big one? Sure.
Yeah, we got to bring maybe those girls wanted to watch and gauge what was going on before they, you know, subject themselves to all of that, you know. They got to know Web Sleuth's catching hell, and they don't want none of that. But Lauren goes back. She'll go wherever. She don't care. Megan is a little more timid these days. You know, she had to go get her a real job because the internet caught on to her actions, and she was dropped. They were dropping her crazy, and she made that video about, oh, I gotta go back to work and all this stuff. Can't pay the bills anymore. So whatever. Right. You're going to try to make a comeback and get back in good, doing like Joe Schmo, trying to get back into the good graces with the community through Web Sleuths. Go right ahead. Y'all let all those subs eat you alive because none of these out here want you.
So we're going to do some of this stream, but then I want to point to something that you pulled out, Salty, about making themselves the victims, because I think that this is a big onion to peel, in my opinion, because there are creators. Tricia's backed and a wholly owned subsidiary of Othram, and I mentioned that before, right? So these people are not small time. They're backed by money. God help me, I don't know why, right? I don't know why that's on the menu. So acting like a victim of teeny tiny little channels doesn't exactly pass the sniff test. So last night, Salty was adept enough to pull this snippet when, I mean, everybody buckle up and gird your loins, because my God, if you haven't seen this, this is some crazy shiznat. Now I'm trying to see do you remember when this was from in the live? Did you know?
No, I didn't know the exact time, but I woke up and I got, my phone was laying there and it was on, and I'm like, shit, my phone. So I picked it up and I was noticing the chat talking about, we're so sorry, Tricia, we hate to see you cry. And I was like, what in the hell? So I had to go and find it. And this is what I found. So she's laying there, bedded up, scrolling through her tablet. And the dog is snoring, so I gave you a few minutes of that. And notice the ticker on the bottom. Y'all, Tricia's sleeping. She's not dead. Do not call 911.
But even
and you
better.
Texted me this morning. It said, I'm dead. I was like, Tricia is sleeping. She's not dead. Do not call 911.
My God. Well, and then she says it's her dog that's snoring. And I'm
it's
thinking,
the dog.
Right. And I'm thinking that's the head Jolene off at the pass.
Yeah.
Who's into the farting of it all.
Yeah. It's the darn dog.
Hey, Flo, how are you?
So she's going to sit up and then talk about what she saw on her tablet. So yeah.
Okay. And then we're going to talk about what we think that is, because, you know, she's been throwing out words. When I say she, Tricia's been throwing words out about being defamed And, you know, these people need to stop using these kind of words because they do actually have meaning. And she keeps saying, I've been defamed. I've been doodly doo. I'm like, no, ma'am, have all the seats, several on Sunday. But let's listen to what this ding dong has to say, shall we? And thank you, Sleuthy, for pulling this up.
You're welcome.
Okay. Wait.
Fucking dog.
Hang on. I got to stop already. I'm so sorry. That is so cute, though. Justice for that puppy.
Oh my God. These damn dogs. They see a lot, I bet.
Oh my God. If only they could talk. We need a Dr. Doolittle stat.
I know.
Oh my God. Okay. I'm sorry. I had to get that out. Poor little baby. All right.
I just saw a thumbnail from a creator I've never heard of, but they're quite big. And the thumbnail was so upsetting.
Oh.
And it was about me. And it was a complete lie. I can't believe it. I don't even know this person. Holy shit. I'll address it sometime. I just can't believe, I can't believe it. I can't.
See that? I mean,
and I never really saw her cry. I sat there and watched it for a few minutes, and she just was like sniffing, you know, sniffling, not no active crying. I'm so upset.
Here's the thing. Look, I've been around some scam artists. I've been around some dirt bags, and I'm not saying that Tricia's a dirt bag, but she certainly has the characteristics of the crying without tears. Now, perhaps she has a tear duct situation, but I ain't buying it because she does this kind of bullshit a lot, and she plays dumb, and we've seen it in Penny's in here in her, you know, previous iterations of her depositions and all of the previous cases that this woman has been a part of, where she tries to act and stumble, and you know, she's just so, you know, upset about this and that. I'm not buying it, ma'am. I'm not. So that's my perspective. I'm only speaking for myself, but I don't buy it. I just simply don't. And I think that any emotion that I hear from these people is because that's the sound of them realizing that maybe people are onto them. Right. So I'm going to let this continue to play through, and then we're going to talk about who we think she's talking about and why it matters, maybe to her, in my opinion, but
Never even heard of this person.
lie.
Oh my God.
Put your guesses in the chat who she's talking about.
Somebody already guessed.
Oh.
Who was it? Let me see. Oh, I don't see the comment now.
Okay. She's still
Hypnosis got it too.
Okay.
Yeah, they're all catching. Yeah, they all know.
Okay.
CC.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what we were thinking too, because if you checked last night, Jay was live, Jay for Justice, but her thumbnail had Tricia, but we all know CC dropped that video, right? So I feel like that's what she was talking about. I can't tell if she was scrolling and saw it, or if someone messaged her and told her.
Hang on
I have not taken a personal donation since December of 2023.
Ma'am.
And CC's video was talking about her gambling away donations. And
Yeah,
here she's telling everybody, I haven't taken a donation since 2023. There was not even if she wasn't going to address it in the moment, why even bring it up? Why go tell your viewers you just saw a thumbnail about you that was so upsetting because you want that empathy, right, Megan? You've taught them well.
exactly. I mean, this is sort of like, this is adjacent. This is like a 9-hour live, but even weirder because she gets to, well, because I mean, if you think about it, it's a slow rolling 9-hour live because, well, whatever. Let's just hear. She's never taken a donation. But here's the thing, you know, she uses words like defamation and then goes on to talk about the, you know, the definition of defamation and gets real formal about it. Well, what's a donation, right? She gets super chats. She says that all this money will go to DNA Solves. How is that happening? So it's curious to me.
I want to, okay. Everybody here, I don't think I have to worry about. But what I don't think everybody is missing, because nobody can figure out, what is Othram doing? So when I was I think I know what they're doing. And it's not what everybody probably expects. I don't know, maybe, I don't know I checked out of that whole conversation because I knew that it was getting derailed and going, just because it was Othram tied up with web sleuths and nobody really understood what was happening. The same reason they didn't understand the connection to Othram and Idaho 4. And when you and I were talking about it, and I was explaining to you how that occurred and what they actually did in the case. All right, so when Othram is doing all their cold cases, guys, and they're solving them, they're developing IgG on a SNP profile based on an STR profile that the police already developed. And they use that SNP to do the IgG. They are only legally allowed to enter 3 databases. The big ones are off limits. 23andMe, Ancestry.com, all the big ones are off limits. So in the Othram Koberger situation, they were contracted to do the work already with Idaho. They get the case. First time active case IgG is being used. They had to stop once they got to 3 brothers through a legal database. FBI took over, hold my beer situation. We do what we want. We're the cowboys. Stop at Othram. They can only access what's in those legal databases. So they go partnership with web sleuths and they get all these good meaning people with good intentions to voluntarily upload their DNA.
Right.
Now they've got double, triple the data they can now legally access.
Yeah.
So people need to really pay attention to that part. And the guy who runs Othram is a marketing genius.
Yeah. And you and I spoke about this too. And I know there's other folks out there doing work on this as well. And I'm glad you brought that up because I do think it's really important to put a fine point on that. And we spoke about this last night too, when people scratch their heads about why web sleuths, you hit that part, right? Tapping into that well-meaning, you know, community-minded folks that want to do good. And I do believe that that's a siren song, right? That drags you in to the rocks. But I also believe that purchase, whatever that purchase was data mining. And I also, when I say data mining, access to all of those people's data.
DNA mining.
Yeah. And yes. And
it's DNA farming.
It's DNA farming. And there's also a huge business in selling people's data aside from the DNA of it. So selling people's data is a revenue stream. And so then there's also the addition of DNA Solves, which again is not a nonprofit entity. Having people donate to a for-profit company to do DNA on unidentified persons, to me, is reprehensible. It just is. And so the problem with, in my opinion, the nonprofit, if they wanted to go the nonprofit route for some of this, which would be the correct thing to do, they don't want to, because transparency is key in that. We have to be able to see their books. We have to be able to see. They don't want that. And then I took it even one further with the total tree call, which is getting them to getting people, again, sort of turning people into unpaid labor. And I've talked about this before, where you go and you're supposedly given an assignment to go and create DNA, trees, family trees, but you go and you give them all your information first. And then you sit there and you don't get this assignment. There's no indication of what they pay. So to me, it's just, and I was saying this to Salty last night, it feels like this is a shell game of.
Oh shit, Trisha's awake, y'all. Sorry, Andy.
No. Do we got to go live? Okay, hang on.
No, she just returned. She just returned to her couch. I don't know where she's been. I can only speculate.
Well, okay, so let's wrap this part up. So I think people understand where we're getting.
No, you're good. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. But thank God we have a proof of life. Thank God.
Yes.
PTL.
She made it through the night. The end of the world did not occur. Chad got the date wrong. It could be tonight. We don't know.
So let's finish this out, because she goes to great pains to whatever.
I can't believe this.
How many times and somebody go check out Olap, because they do the Lord's work with pulling and sifting out the stuff. How many times has this woman said, I cannot believe this. I can't believe this about herself, about something. She's just so stricken every goddamn time.
Every time.
She can't believe it.
Look, AI Stacy got a new picture with, I can get me a new avatar picture with a pajamas and a tinfoil hat.
Hell yeah. I don't care. I'll go on there like Granny from the Beverly Hills.
You know what though? If I can have my way, I'm staying in my pajamas.
No, I get it. Yes.
I'm at home. I'm in pajamas. This is what it is. Sorry.
Oh my God. All right. Well, let's watch the rest of this. And then I'm going to just pull up Cece's thumbnail really quickly, because I think that there's a reason why this struck her a different way.
She's afraid it would do damage.
She remains stricken. Look at her. She can't believe it. Oh my goodness. Heavens to Murgatroyd. Let me put this in my ear. Oh Lord. Oh my goodness. Oh dear. Oh dear. Let me put this in my ear hole. Aw, butt nugget. Okay. Poor butt nugget.
Damn dogs.
Oh shit. So cute though. You guys want to watch?
I guess.
Let me remove this.
Noise thing. I'm telling you that.
What?
I'm not sure I could live with a dog that makes that kind of noise, y'all. I'm sorry.
I mean,
I don't even want to live with a man making that kind of noise, let alone a dog snoring like that in the dead of night. Stop it.
Jesus, take the cheese wheel.
My dogs don't do that. They're normal.
Let me look at the chat here before. Well, actually, let me pull this up. This is what I think it is, right? This is from yesterday. This is what Cece posted. I think this is what bothers her. It's not Jolene making fun of her. It's not me and my 2,500 followers. It's not the small, whatever. It's not even the victims' families. It's a creator that has what? A few hundred. Does she have a few 100,000 followers? I'm not exactly sure. I don't know anything about her really. I just know that Tricia Griffith absolutely knows who Cece Suarez is, because she had a huge ass booth at CrimeCon, right?
She has 226,000 subscribers on YouTube. Apparently she is on Instagram.
Okay.
Instagram, TikTok, and on Reddit. And yeah. And I guess she's a true crimer. I know she was at CrimeCon. She had a booth out there. So yeah.
Yep. And
it looks like she does cover but she's a big creator and does all kind of stuff, I think, but as well as all the courts. Yeah. So that's who she is.
speak of the devil and they appear, it is Our Lady of Perpetual Poutine. But yeah, so I think this is it. I think this is what shooketh her. And looking at what this says about her gambling away donations. Okay. Now, what I do know is that this is probably what got her all fired up about defamation. And it's like, no, this is actually not defamation. But consider, again, in my opinion, she doesn't give a shit what Crusha or Kay or even Chad's family or extended family or anybody is saying about any of this or their feelings. She cares about number one, and number one is her and only her. We have photos of her and video of this woman sitting with the one-armed bandit nonstop. So I don't know what she's doing with donations to where, but she's making a lot of claims. And she is also sitting upon a stool in front of, plain view, old bat in a cowboy hat. She gives old bats terrible names. But anyway, so, yeah, I think this really got to her because she's like, oh shit. Oh man.
Well, yeah, and here she is trying to hold her yet another end of the world bash, and she already knows she's catching flack on the internet about it, and then she sees this really large creator with a large following, throwing shade at her, and she's going to get all upset, but you can't read the room, ma'am. You don't listen. You're tone deaf. You're all the things that we keep pointing out, just like Lauren Matthias and Megan, and that shows their level of narcissism, right? And you can also go into, like, not saying they're psychopaths, y'all, but sociopath type nature behaviors, right? They don't change. They are more insistent. They want to, they want to prove more and more how they're always right. All the things, they have a hard time admitting wrong and taking accountability. And they have these dispositions. They have this nature about them. Lauren is eat up with narcissism. The woman cannot help it. It's like, and Tricia is a lot of the same way, but Tricia has also learned, to me, it's like a con woman. Like a true con artist, knowing exactly what to say to your audience. And the sad part is she's not the only one I see on YouTube doing it.
Right.
They know exactly what to say to bring in that audience. They know exactly how to manipulate. I've done shows on these manipulation tactics, and I could do one and call out a whole bunch of people and name them. But not everybody's going to agree with it, and that's fine too, but I can see it and I know who to avoid because of it. And all I can do is try to help guide people with that awareness of what that manipulation looks like.
Yeah. So now I'm going to, because she's live again. I don't know if I can stream. I'll get struck.
Well, Jay was streaming pieces of her last night. So
I'm going way back to the beginning.
Yeah, because I'm going to review the part where Joe and Aspen were talking about this case, and if I go live later and need to do it, I will. And if she gets me, she gets me. But no, y'all did no, sir, Joe. I said not on my watch, didn't I?
Well, and
I don't mince words. I don't play, and I mean what I say, and I will always be on my real account.
Hello. Now, okay. So you see what I pulled up here? Can you see it, Salty? I know you're on your phone.
Oh yeah, no, I'm sitting at the desk watching the PC and talking on my phone at the same time, so I can go in and out of the back door when I want to.
Okay, sorry.
No, you're good. I'm loving this. I'm not in control today. She is, y'all. I just get to talk.
So what we're gonna, and I'm gonna play a little of, and if she gets me, she gets me. It's fair use. I'm sorry, but it just simply is. Let me bring.
Yeah, I don't have any strikes. I'll take one for the team. I don't
have any strikes. I just have people pulling down my streams erroneously.
I haven't had that happen yet. When Lauren got Joe for he and I going over the Jerry Holman interview,
Oh
we
my
did it on
God.
his channel that day instead of mine. So he took that hit, not me. Could have been me, but it wasn't. It was him. I was like, yeah, let's do that on your channel, dude. Let's do that.
Right. So now I smell what you're stepping in. You're setting me up. I'm kidding. Um,
Method to my madness.
yes. She's like, yep. So the reason I've mentioned my reason for actually ending up in this space was Delphi, and I got but people covering Delphi, and before Delphi there was Flora. And
Yes.
and you've been on this from the beginning, and you have been and always have been conscientious about covering all of your cases that you cover. Unless there's people that need to be taken a piss out of, you do it, you do the documents, you do the thing. So I was on the phone with you last night when you saw the thumbnail and realized down in the corner that it was the Flora Girls.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think?
Well, was it about 2 weeks ago? I happened to be reviewing her, and she mentioned that somebody had reached out to her and sent her, I believe this is it, but they sent her a card, a plaque, a picture, that someone sent her a picture, and it was these 4 beautiful little girls in Flora 4, and she had no idea. And so they asked her to look into the case. And I'm like, I wonder who sent that to her. Like, I really wanted to know at that point, who the hell sent her that? The next thing I know, here she is. I'm going to talk about this on the End of the World party, and then Aspen Connor's going to come talk with me about it. I was like, oh, hell, what? But I didn't, because there's a lot with Flora 4 to unpack, and there are ties to Delphi, and they need to be honest about that when they're unpacking it, and be careful unpacking it, because it can go south real easy because it's Delphi, right?
Yep.
But to do justice by these 4 beautiful little girls and Abby and Libby, people need to be honest about what this is and was. And then I didn't review all of it because it was in the middle of the night and I didn't feel like going there with old Aspen, but I will today. Because I don't know what all he said, but they were downplaying a lot of things about this case that are inaccurate. And then they went and showed a piece of Doug Carter talking about this case with his magic hands flying. And let me quote something Doug Carter, Indiana State Police officer, said about these 4 beautiful little girls' murders before he retired. He says, I don't believe whoever they are, said it intentionally to hurt the girls. Theorizing intention may have been property damage or to scare someone. They didn't intentionally set out to hurt the little girls, though. Okay, Doug Carter. So go ahead, Web Sleuths, and you continue to bring freaks like Aspen Connor up there, who was obviously, something is wrong with the man. I don't know what is physically wrong, but something is. He's changed a lot, allegedly. I don't know what's going on there, but I don't care. The misinformation is what I care about. The inaccuracies, the lies, and the glossing over. And Joe Schmo, dude. Okay, I'm gonna hush now.
No, you don't need to hush, because I think that this is
no, I mean, I get passionate about these victims because you can't do them justice if you sugarcoat the damn truth.
Yeah.
And this was an arson that was first called an accident, and it took a long time for them to change it to arson. And to this day, whoever was responsible for that fire is still walking earth, I assume.
Yeah, it's unsolved. And I think that I'm going to point out, hopefully what should be obvious to anybody who follows me, is that these young girls, these 4 girls that died in a fire while their mother tried to get them out, right?
It was sad, Andy.
Oh my God.
Let's say their name. Okay, this is
Yes.
guys. This is
Do it.
Kiana Davis, 11 years old. Kiara Phillips, 9 years old. Carrielle McDonald, 7, and Keone Welch, 5. They are all sisters. Their mother was Galen Rose. Galen tried like hell to get back in that house to save those little girls, and so did Officer Drew Yoder.
Yeah.
Firefighters have resigned. Well, the head guy. We'll get into all that, another.
Yeah.
But that's like the backstory
But
of
thank
some
you.
of it. Some of it, anyway.
Yeah. And thank you. And
You're welcome.
it's just, and again, I don't know enough about it. So thank you for stepping in and saying their names, because that's so critical. It's critical to me. And I just, you're my go-to on that.
Yeah, it
like-
happened November 21st, 2016, and then it was ruled the arson ruling, I think, came down in 2017.
And so it's the close in time proximity, and we won't get into all the details of the connections between Delphi, but I want to say that people who follow me, I hope, realize the disparity between the way that, well, I can't even say that about how justice was, injustice or justice was pursued for Abby and Libby, but that certainly came, quicker than for these 4 little Black girls.
Just to for people to kind of understand without going into too much detail.
Yep.
There are ties between alternate suspects in Delphi.
Yeah.
Okay. And people who lived in Flora.
Yeah.
Also, the same people. The same people could be involved here. So that makes it a whole thing right there by itself.
And so when I saw this come up and was talking with you last night, and the fact that you bring on, and I think it's appropriate at this point to point out that there is something amiss with Mr. Connor. I don't know what it is. What I do know is that he was arrested in Delphi for what I believe was intoxication. Now, listen, I'm a recovering alcoholic, but I'm a recovering alcoholic, right?
Right.
24 years. So I don't know what's up with him, if he has a drug issue, but what I do know the issue is with him is he's a deeply unserious person who enjoys being the center of attention and enjoys writing in and posting things like this, right? With the seat, and he was there and walking around and being able to say, I was there.
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
And look, a follower there likes it, and he does the same thing, by the way. Shows up at places. Look, I'm here. Joe Schmo. I'm filming this. Boots on the ground.
I couldn't believe, and actually, I just can't believe this Joe Schmo comment. And again, it's a small world.
Here's the thing about that comment.
Yes, go on.
Joe Schmo knows about Flora 4. Joe Schmo and I have had conversations about Flora 4 and the ties to Delphi, Indiana. Just down the street, same county, by the way. So, Joe, I don't know what you're doing right there, but you already know.
Well, and how gross, right? I really appreciate Aspen bringing all of this to us, especially the memorial. When I reviewed this case a while back, I did so from an unsolved mystery perspective. This is so much more meaningful. No, get the fuck out of here.
I couldn't believe it when I saw it, and girl.
Jeez. No.
I don't forget. I know things.
I know you do. I know you do. Look, that's how I came to you, was watching you take the piss out of this idiot, Joe Schmo. This is here. And the thing is, you're right. He knows better. And there are people out there who have covered this for a long time that give a shit. And he's coming in here, swooping in. I know this Aspen Connor character. He wants to swoop in and say, look what I did, this nice thing, and took a picture of these dead children's, and that's the way their minds work. In my opinion. I'm
When
no
Joe
Dr.
started
John
asking me
Matthias.
questions,
Shit.
hold on, I got an airplane passing. When Joe began asking me questions about Flora, I sent him damn near everything I had. And we had a lot of discussions about Flora. So him to sit there and go all in and thank you, Connor, it'll bring it up. Dude, you're just mad because like you said, he says on the stream that he's just upset he was invited to go, I think he said, but something came up, he couldn't go and he
We'll play
regrets
a little
it.
bit of it because screw it. We'll do it live. Hang on, let me add this.
He regrets that he didn't get to go.
Well, you know what? Doesn't he live in Indiana?
Oh, yeah.
Go drive your ass up there and do it now, right? Be Captain Boots on the ground. Save it.
If you can make your way down there to that creek in Delphi and you can manage.
Ooh, I'm losing it. Okay, hang on. Let's see. Oh, Lord, have mercy, Jesus. Okay, everybody buckle up.
The Flora 4, and I've got their pictures up now. Can you give us a brief overview of the case, please?
So for anyone that is familiar,
I gotta speed this shit up.
With the Delphi case, this case happened in the same county. It's happened in Carroll County, Indiana. The small town called Flora, Indiana. Population of approximately 2,000 people. It's about 9 miles from Delphi, but it is in the same county, Carroll County. And on November 21st of 2016, approximately 3 months before the Delphi case happened.
Okay, hang on. Let's just.
A whole different element, yeah. So no, you're absolutely right. That happens all over the country.
So it's not a takeaway from either of
Exactly.
Hang on. What is going on with your face, sir?
That when you don't have transparency, that silence leads to speculation.
Absolutely. And they should have had that.
What? Did you hear that, Salty?
Yeah.
When you don't have transparency?
Yeah. Preach it, sir. Transparency is important. And Indiana loves to dance in the dark.
Yeah, they do. And this guy.
Don't trust them dudes from Indiana, man. You can't trust them.
No, and this guy has fucked around behind the scenes in both Delphi and apparently in Flora. And when I say fucked around behind the scenes, I'm saying with all of those grody ass.
Well, you know what he said? He said something here, Andy, that I caught that was interesting.
Okay.
So going back to Delphi, when I first heard of the case, my girls were little. And it was when it happened in real time. I'm in my house doing my thing. I'm a house stay-at-home mom. It's on the news. I turned to look. It's HLN with Susan Hendricks. She breaks the story. She stays on that story for months on end. Susan was literally the only woman, only journalist covering it nationally. And that's where I was getting updates. So he mentions doing some work with Susan Hendricks in the Delphi. Something about a podcast maybe. And I'm like, what? So I'm assuming those two linked up. Like maybe he was already looking at Delphi and doing, I don't know. Maybe it was very early in the investigation. I don't know how far back that actually went. I haven't looked into it yet.
He did say, somebody said something about him producing in part I don't know if it was the, one of the documentaries early on that didn't get aired, or he was doing something somebody hired him to do something out there. And it might have been, and again,
so then Lauren goes into Delphi, right?
Yep.
And she's out there hanging with Susan Hendricks. And that's the first time I ever heard her mention this Aspen Connor guy. I was like, oh, and they may go back before then. I don't know. And that's when I was like, oh God, not the Aspen Connor guy. Well, of all people, of course, it's Lauren. So why not? And now Joe Schmo's up there with all of them. Joe is trying everything he can to get back into the community legitimately because he wants all of us to know about his passionate work in the London Valdez case.
I know.
And it's gotten no attention because he's only got those few followers left over there, subscribers, whatever. So after Joe went radio silent, after everything that went down
After
between
you
him and all the stuff.
Yeah.
Then Megan goes and does a video. Come on, dog. It's trying to rain here. It's got a
Oh,
tropical storms passing by. Haven't you heard? She's under
yeah.
the pole barn and she won't come in. All right,
Aw.
whatever. She can just chill. She likes it out there. But so he wants to get back in. And he talks about the London Valdez case here, but Megan went and did a video and presented the London Valdez case. So I was like, oh, really, girl? So I went and watched it. All of it was Joe's work.
Of course.
Okay. Joe records a phone call between him and the detective. I once had access to that call. And when I remembered I had it, I went and looked and my access was revoked.
I see.
But he played that call on a live stream, a recorded call with a detective. That's Joe Schmo. Boots on the ground, media reporter, investigative journalist.
Yeah.
Media pass printed off the internet
Right.
or bought some shit.
Right.
Anyway.
Right. This guy. So Janice, hey girl. Hey Fiend. So pretty sure Lauren met Aspen and Joe at Delphi. Yeah. I think that is actually 100% correct.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I know she met Joe at Delphi.
Yeah.
I know how that went down.
Yeah.
With I don't know about Aspen, but I know how it went down with Joe. Joe was already upset with Lauren Matthias because she struck him for the two of us reviewing her Jerry Holman interview. He was big mad. Big mad.
Sure.
Then they meet at Delphi and he tells her about it and she apologizes and lets him know she didn't strike him. It was just one of her people, whatever. So they made up and he asked for advice on his channel.
Ugh.
And she gave it to him. Do you, Joe? So now he's going to ride on Lauren Matthias's coattails, right? And be a legitimate journalist out there, boots on the ground, covering Lori Vallow. Okay. So when everything starts to happen with Crescia and Lauren, and Joe is telling me one thing behind the scenes and telling the public another. So Joe can sit all the way down, as Andy likes to say. Because and if you want to make your way back into the community and ride on these people, and Lauren, notice after all that was said and done, and Joe was exposed and wanted to go all over the internet and plead his case, has Lauren promoted Joe Schmo? Does Lauren Matthias have him on for content and you bring me the goods, Joe Schmo, my boots on the ground buddy? No, not that I've seen. Right?
No.
So how'd that work out for you, Joe Schmo?
I don't know, man, but he's sure. I mean, look, to be indelicate. So everybody earmuffs if you're sensitive. He was basically sucking Aspen Connor's dick in that comment. I said it. Big time. I said it.
Big time. Anything to get back in, I'm telling you. I've been clocking it for months. I know what's going on.
Face down in Grandma Clampett's lap. I said what I said.
I cannot believe this dude put on what he put on to go to sleep at the end of the world party. What's with this pink fucking hat?
Well, look, listen, he's trying to be a David Hockney motherfucker, but he turned out like a goddamn Jen Clamp or grandma and Granny. Granny had more sense than this bitch.
Jesus.
Damn it,
we really should have went up in our pajamas, Andy, and our I don't wear rollers, but I don't have any. I was about to say I could put some in, but I don't have any. I don't do that shit. I could have thrown the old granny knot, my sister calls it.
Yes. Catch up, bust you up some bed sheets and do the tie 'em up in rags.
Show up in our togas.
Yeah.
We're here for the sleepover. We got the wine and the gummies.
Oh my God.
Hey bitches.
I have to take comments off once again because
are y'all ready for us, web sleuths? Here we are. Let's party. Into the fucking world, chud. Chud.
God damn it.
Fucking sick
love this
bitches.
So much. I love this so much for them.
Look at Aspen, man. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry, people out there in America but Lauren and Connor in their influencer, whatever they are, they're lying to y'all and they tell y'all those glasses are fucking cool.
Yes, because oh god, I didn't get into the Chris Cuomo of it all, but Dr. John,
Oh God.
no, can't.
Are we not going to do it?
No, not. So who
Mm.
HMS lady?
I haven't even watched it all, Andy.
I can't. I can't.
I can't.
I can't. If anybody has, if you have your CAIN'Ts, put them in the chat.
We can't today, y'all. We can't.
And
We're all ladies and we can't.
Can't. And the thing is that, am I making fun of them? You bet. Is this bullying? No, it's making fun of some straight assholes. That's all it is. But I do appreciate HMS. Gen X lady said, who's the lady on the bottom left?
I mean, I could do this like Megan Connor and get up here and point out psychologically what is wrong with each one of them. Is that a form of bullying, Megan? You gotta let me know, because you're the authority out here on the YouTube police. Megan Connor checking in for duty. Let me approve this or not.
So much like the what is it, the self-appointed or the self-taught serial killer expert, she is the self-appointed life coach.
She's just Lori Vallow's dumb cousin, y'all. That's all.
Oh, that's, I mean, it's a race to the bottom over there.
Anyway,
but
Stacey's got a tinfoil hat and Connor's got a pink stocking hat.
He's wearing a panty on his head.
He's wearing his granny panties on his head. Shit, Connor, you're backward, dude. You really are. Oh, Andy, that might prove that he is taking substances. He's got his underwear on backwards.
Look,
wrong ass, dude.
you can do both. Okay,
I guess,
or you can't do both. You can either wear a granny panty and have a heart of gold, or you can wear a granny panty and be a straight up bitch. And that's what this gentleman's doing, in my opinion. But oh Lord, have mercy.
Well, I can't trust a true crime a creator that's not being honest and evaluating a situation fairly.
Yes.
Because you're not doing the case justice when you don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
And I enjoy, and it's hard for me to find good quality conversationalists anymore when it comes to true crime. And last night I got a breath of fresh air. Criminality went live, and it was so nice because Shabugs was on and they were unpacking the Nolan Wells, and I hadn't I've been following Shabug's stuff on tweets. But I like the way T is always trying to be fair when she's taking a look at something, because that's the way you need to be. And it was just a refreshing conversation for a change versus the bullshit we're seeing, or narratives are fed and it's driven and all of that kind of thing. And so they did not do any justice to Flora 4 at all.
Yeah. And so yes. And I love T. I was so glad when she came back. I'm like, where you been?
Yeah. Her hiatus may be over.
Yeah, maybe. But I was glad to see that. And they do such a good job. She's very conscientious, and you know, I appreciate her, you know, like I appreciate it because they do the document thing. They do.
Well, I'll be honest, you know, after I got so turned off at Delphi early with a lot of creators, she was literally probably the only one left that I would listen to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yep. Yeah.
Because no matter what was being talked about, I felt like she was trying to be the fairest about it. Right. Yeah. Even if chat was giving her a hard time, she's like, well, hey, they might, you know, I'm like, I get it, T. I'm here for you, girl.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I appreciate everything she's ever done. Yes. It was a refreshing break, you know, from what's going on right now on these streets.
Right. And, you know, I go back to
true crime done right, by the way. That's Criminality guys over here on YouTube.
Yes, Criminality, and I'm sure some of you already follow her, but she does really great work. She's a good person too.
She's down to earth, and she's just like one of us, right?
Yeah.
She's not trying to be like, here's all my degrees and all my things. Listen to me.
No.
She's like, let's talk about this case and unpack.
Right. Yep. And you know, so the thing, I guess from my perspective, and we talked about this too a little bit, I bring a way different perspective to this because I see this through the lens of what these people are supposing to try to do. And that's trying to be honest brokers from a perspective of reporting on true crime. And I tell you what, people don't like to talk about journalism and stuff, but what T is doing is a form, you know, overt criminality is a form absolutely of journalism. What you do when you're reading out documents is a form of journalism. What
Yes.
these people are doing is making a mockery of what used to be a good profession, and also with the added bonus of putting down victims' families, not listening to them, or leveraging them for personal gain, whatever that looks like for them.
Well, in that part of the, and to me, I mean, there's something to be said for calling out the true crime grifters,
Yes.
but
Sure.
when that's being done, it's damaging to people like me in criminality.
Yes.
And especially when people don't speak up and say, well, hey, you know, it's not all, or you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But when you're out there trying to give it your all and do it right, it gets glossed over by all the ones who aren't doing it right. And there's no way to fix it. I don't know what to do except tell people, let's change the algorithm, you know, hit the thumbs up, you know,
right.
But that's all you can do. But just so to keep doing it is all we can do, and do that organic build. People will come who are there for actual true crime.
Yes, absolutely. And I believe, you know, and I believe that too. Right. So I think that is, as long as you stay true to what you do, and you know, and Salty, Salty, there's Salty's channel too. So thank you, CH, so much.
Thanks,
for
CH.
links. And I love it. So
thank you, Olaf. That means a lot coming from you, Olaf. I do not want to be on your radar.
unless it's for the good. Oh my God.
Right?
Yeah. And Penny, so Dreadful Penny says they're obliged on citizen journalists on the ground in conflict situations who are attempting to speak. Yes. Absolutely.
Yes. Hey, 100%. Dreadful Penny, I enjoy you. Thank you, by the way.
Yeah, and somebody
always get you on replay though. Thank you.
Yeah. And you and I've spoken about this too, and I've spoken to, or at least like in chat, spoken to other, and it's by and large, it's been just women who are trying to, like me, you, it's sharing our information, because we all have a different angle on this. And I think that on whatever this is, right? Like you were trying to get me to try to find some documents because you didn't have access to them. It was something I still know practically nothing
it was
about,
when my pacer was acting a fool and wouldn't let me get in there. Yeah.
And so the thing is that the difference with people and creators like Tricia and
my working behind the scenes with Andy behind the scenes was trying to locate documents, right? That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing behind the scenes. We're having a conversation about a case. Did you see this or hear that? Do you have this? Do you have that? Like, let's go do this. And that's what we do.
Right.
That's what it should be.
Together, and it's sharing documents, public documents, right? So that's just the thing. So, so there's Penny's channel. Thank you, CH. And I know CH doesn't mind dropping links because it's a special superpower. So, but I want to make clear that I do think that, and just to everybody, that talking about these people has a value beyond just being drama, even though, Lord Almighty, wearing a panty
drama's fun, right? Like I say, we live in the flesh and I'm not above it and it's fun, but there's a much deeper conversation to be had. And you and I have always tried to touch on that.
Yep.
Because
and also
I can sit here all day long and tear down a look, but there's so many more layers to it than that, right?
Absolutely. But if I get a chance to take a piss out of a guy that's wearing a panty, you bet your ass.
Hell yeah.
Hell
We're
yeah.
here for it. We're shady ladies, right? Shady ladies, guys. My
Yep.
people, y'all, if y'all know, you know. Shady lady
Mhm.
show.
Mhm. So this is on the screen now is, ugh.
Oh my God.
Yep, there he
Hold
is.
on. Oh, I forgot I don't drink.
Yeah, right. Me neither. So they're going to, the fact that they brought on Aspen Connor to talk about this and then went on to show this asshole who, if you don't know, if people don't know, this is Doug Carter, who is a big asshole, like gaping
He
asshole.
was the head of the Indiana State Police
Yep.
during, so at the time of the Flora 4 fire and at the time of Abby and Libby's murder, um, this was the head of the Indiana State Police. He is retired since Richard Allen's trial has ended. He retired shortly after that. So
Yeah.
this is who that is, Doug Carter. Those of us, a lot of us are not fans. So
No.
this is painful for Andy and I. Y'all bear with us.
Right. And the thing is that,
His magic hands are scaring me.
well, and the thing is that people will be able to go back and make decisions for themselves. I have
Yeah.
there's facts in the case, and then there's the characters that either did or did not do their jobs. And I think history has already shown that this man should have never been allowed to put on a uniform, in my opinion.
I don't picture him in a uniform when I see him.
You picture him nude?
No, God, no. Oh,
Gotcha.
Jesus.
Gotcha.
No, not at all.
I'm kidding. Gotcha. You
I
picture him
picture him in a
clothes, right?
robe. I picture him
Oh.
in a robe.
Yep. Being walked out of a, yep.
In the woods, maybe.
Oh.
Standing around a fire, warming
shit.
himself. I don't know. My imagination is running wild. Never mind. My tinfoil hat is on. Excuse me. I thought I was Stacy for a moment.
But the fact that they have Aspen Connor on to talk about such a serious manner, and this is when he shows up.
Ugh.
I don't know. It just,
And you know what? The weird part is, Andy, I don't really know what this dude did in Delphi. I didn't fucking pay him no attention. Like, he was no count to me. He was not on my radar in any of the Delphi stuff that I chose to watch, right, or consume.
I don't even know. Did he have a channel whatever.
I don't know where he came from. Was he Facebook or something?
I don't know.
Before the YouTube, the Facebook stuff was deep. So
Yeah, he might have
I
been.
guess it still is over there in that cesspool, but yeah, I don't know really where he came from. Maybe has he got a big TikTok thing going on, guys? I don't know.
No, I don't know. So let's bring Joe Schmo on. And we don't have to get into that. So we can see, like, here, to me, I'm looking at like the evolution of their storytelling, and their storytelling, not about Flora, but about themselves, their positioning of themselves at the center. And you see this comment on Tricia's screen is that this person, we truly appreciate that, Aspen. Thank you for sharing, right? Thank you for being such a good guy. And the screen before this was this, right? And this is right before they brought Joe up. They're like, Joe, so they're like, man, thanks for sharing. Really? Thanks for sharing. It's just,
I really appreciate Aspen bringing this to all of us. What about all of that information I sent you, dude? Where is it?
Yeah. Yep. Hannah was a line sitter. Lord bless the line sitters.
Yes.
Burkhart.
I bow down to them right now.
Yes. I mean, Bob and Lawyer Lee and Andrea were our ears, and
they were our heroes during all that,
because it was tried in the dark. It was done in the dark, and I could go on and on and on about that.
On and on. And if it wasn't for Defense Diaries, Bob Mata and Andrea Burkhart and Lawyer Lee, we wouldn't have gotten quality, accurate, independent updates. And they all three have their own way to deliver it, and all had different thoughts to bring to the table. So but it was exhausting trying to get through it all, right? And it wasn't their fault.
No.
They did the very best they could, and they did a damn good job doing it. And Lauren down there running amok, having all this girl drama behind the scenes, linking up with little, Grayson down there, come stay with me at this place. And, these other girls are like, what the hell is going on here?
Right. Yep.
And Joe's over there now, but going to buddy up to Lauren and at Delphi and become friends.
Yep.
So Lauren's got a lot going on down there in Delphi.
Sure does.
For a woman
Sure
there to cover a
does.
case of want to bring justice and light to a case without cameras. Bitch, you're doing a lot down there in Delphi.
Just the most. Just the most.
The most.
Forrest, thank you for 3 months. Oh my God. No.
Yes, Forrest is amazing. Everybody knows I love my Forrest.
Share, chat, comment. It helps. Thank you so much. And
that is my mod, man. That is my mod. Yeah.
Yes, love it. Love all.
Thank you, Forrest.
Yes, thank you.
Another one we can't say enough about these community members, right? That show up time and time again that I met in true crime. Forrest and I went way back being community members of true crime together, right? That's how I met him. And when I got my channel launched and I was like, I need a mod, maybe like Forrest, I reached out and he agreed and we haven't looked back. So I appreciate the community members that show up for truth, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And let's see, Delphi Docs arranged lines. That was a group effort, man. And that's the thing. And I think that truly, I think that's
where I met Forrest was in her and Gisella's chat, actually.
Okay.
Originally.
Oh, interesting.
Grizzly True Crime. That's who that is. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is, but I do think that there is a real division, and I noticed this in my previous life. And my previous life as I'm sorry, I was an actual journalist. You can look me up, whatever. It's just that was my deal. There were people that were, this sounds so hokey and stupid, but there were people that knew how to share and build a team, because the way I was brought up in the field was that good journalism, good reporting builds on we stood on the shoulders of the people that reported before us or in tandem with us. And that was the way that we did that. Now, obviously there were, different facets of that. Laura Mathias was a television presenter. She wasn't an investigative journalist.
When I was growing up, I'm a kid of the 70s. A product of the 80s, and my mom was always into watching real legitimate, like 2020 when I was a kid. My mom never missed an episode of 2020, right? With Barbara Walters and Hugh Downs. But I was always watching those shows with her and remembering like journalists were cool, right? They brought you the information and you counted on truth and accuracy. And I wanted to see unbiased opinions, right? Because I don't want to be led in my thinking. I want to look at both sides, right? And then I noticed it became very different. And in the 80s, late 80s and 90s, journalists were being called out for plagiarism, and fabricating things. And, you're fully aware. I remember the battle there was a battle about journalists having to turn over their sources. And I remember I watched that with intent because I felt like that was so important. Right. And so and what we do here is, people like it or not, is a form of journalism and media. And not everybody is a quote unquote grifter. And I feel like a lot of times pointing a finger and saying that's a grifter, that's surface level at this point, because there's so much more that goes into it. Egos are affected, right? Personal lives are affected. My money bottom line is affected. There's a lot, and then they become a prisoner to that or something. I don't know what happens. It derails. I don't know what but you got to be held accountable for what you do out here, man.
Right. And
these streets are bad. Have y'all not looked around right now?
And so that, and so that, I mean, I think that, and Penny makes a good point here, is that access journalism. So that's that's
Yeah.
very accurate. Access journalism is when you sell out your, whatever your ethics are, or whatever whatever you came to the story with, you sell that out in turn for access. And, you know, that's a lot of what we're seeing here. I don't think they know what that, like the Aspen Connors. Yeah, I don't think they think that deep about it, but that's exactly what this kind of is. And it becomes a self-sustaining ecosystem that they're kind of building. And the only way I've been able to think about it over the last year or so, since I started in on the fucking murder shits of it all, those mother scratchers. But the way I see it is revolving around, you know, the crime con and the commodification of victims, etc. And so, you know, victims have agency, absolutely, but it's like, go
Yeah.
ahead.
No, and people, I think YouTube has wanted to say, we're journalists, we're media, we have rights, we have this, we have that.
Mm,
You also, you're damn right you do.
well,
You have an obligation to be honest, and you have an obligation to be authentic, and an obligation to report accuracy to the best of your ability. And what you don't have the right to is to come out, manipulate the situation, and then call yourself a journalist. There's a far stretch between journalist and media presence
that's right.
and true crime
Absolutely.
influencers, right?
Yep.
We don't need all that extra stuff, Lauren and company and web
Yep.
sleuths, whatever, what Joe, what all this weird shit, that can easily, these cases can get so, they can go south real quick on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
It's lack of integrity.
Yep.
So don't call yourself a journalist when you are embroiled in things that
Yeah.
aren't, you know what I'm saying, trying
Yeah,
to
I
say,
do.
but I don't.
Yeah. The shit in the background that, you know,
Yeah.
and so the other thing too, that I make sure that I say when I do this kind of stuff, and when I actually talk about what other people are doing, is that my name, and I respect people that want to stay private, like Miss Salty. I do. I absolutely. However, people like me, people like Lauren Matthias claim to be, you know, she claims to be a journalist. Ma'am,
Yep.
when you put your name on something, when I put my name on something, on my work, going back, you know, almost 2 decades now, that leaves me open to criticism. So the very idea that Tricia or Lauren or, God forbid, Dr. John are not open or not fair game for appropriate criticism is absolute bullshit. Grow a spine, get some thick skin, or tell me you're not a journalist, right? Because the thing is, you're not, ma'am.
You're not. Well, I'm not a journalist. And then there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I am not a journalist, but I do have I guess, a media presence, because social media versus mainstream media, whatever, you know, there's a media presence no matter how you look at it these days, especially with YouTube. A lot of people get their news from YouTube versus, I rarely watch my local news or the TV at all, right?
Yeah.
It's wild, but you still are open to criticism. Even if you're not a journalist and you're media presenting things out here, you're open. And if you're out here giving families and victims and just dragging them for the sake of whatever,
Yeah.
it's happening still. Like I pointed out to you when we were talking, that it right now in the Idaho 4 case, it is so bad what's happening to the victims still to this day, even though the damn guy's done pled guilty under no false pretenses or drug induced whatevers. He said he did it and he's in prison. There are people out there right now and they can do them all day long and twice on Sunday. I do not care. But do you got to make your fight for Brian Koberger about dragging the victims of the case and accusing their parents of knowing he's innocent and playing along with it? And that's being totally missed by people calling out true crime grifters and bad actors, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, And that case gets to me because those 4 victims mean a lot to me.
Yeah.
Because I've been in deep with that case and read everything and watched every hearing, and it was horrific what happened to them. And to see what's happening to them now to this day as a result of YouTube media people, it's bullshit.
Yeah.
And they're no better than Lauren Matthias.
Right.
They're not doing it behind the scenes like Lauren. They're doing it right out in the open, holding live streams about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, do y'all call out us true crime grifters all day long if you need to. Just
Right.
make sure you point the finger in the right direction.
Spot it. You got it.
Don't get the name wrong.
Thank you, Brenda K, for becoming a member. You have some cute little toot what do you call it? You got some little emojis of my toot and other stuff in there. So yay. Let me see here. So let's just see. I mean, you know, I know you're going to talk about, you're probably going to end up talking about Joe Schmo of it all later. Salty.
Maybe not. Depends on my mood.
Let me just see what he says.
I got a trial coming up to cover and a preliminary hearing that's happened for the past 2 days. I got to update my community on. So Joe might, I don't know. We'll see, Joe.
Yeah. No,
I'm sure it'll come out eventually.
I want to hear what he has to say, because I do think bringing it back to what is going on here in this nightmare space that is up on the screen, is that you know, we were told that there would be almost like celebrity adjacent folk, you know.
Now, Joe's been appearing off and on in Web Sleuth's chat, I guess, since he has went radio silent out here. You know, after all that happened, he's been, from what I've understood, he's been in the community right there. And I think he may go over to that Ping guy's I know he used to. I didn't know who Ping was till Joe told me about this guy Ping, and I'm like, who? You know?
Wait, Sleuthy or Salty, hold on a second.
Okay.
When the hell did he know about Ping?
Okay, so, oh God. He was already, I guess Joe was hanging out in Web Sleuth's chats, like, because I never went to her stuff or whatever. And I guess that's where he met the Ping guy. And then he mentioned to me one time about this guy named Ping holds streams at night, late at night. And I'm like, I never heard of the guy. And then I went and looked and I was like, oh, I'm cool. I'm good. You know what I mean?
Right.
But so he knew who Ping was because of the Web Sleuth's community that he was hanging out in. And he did a couple of lives over on his stream. He was hanging out over here at Web Sleuth and with the Ping guy. I don't know if he was ever in Hidden True Crimes chats because I didn't ever see her, right?
Yeah.
So the fact that he's up here did not surprise me. It wasn't a surprise to me because I knew he had been frolicking around over there with the community. But I didn't know if they were going to be happy. I didn't see them promoting him like that. You know what I mean? Getting him up on panel, stuff like that. So I wasn't surprised when he got up there because this is literally the only place he can go where it's safe.
Do you see what Forrest is saying? That Ping was on Joe's channel during the Texas flooding last year? That makes me insane.
Oh, yes. Yes. Joe was trying to cover the Texas flooding, and I had told him, so the water was just, it was crazy, right? We had a private conversation, and I told him about the night Hurricane Ivan hit and how the house filled up with water with me in it. We were discussing water and water levels and fast moving water. And I was explaining what happened during the process. I got out of that house in chest deep water, right? That was it. And anyway, so we go live and we're talking about it, right? The flood in Texas.
Yeah.
And he was sitting there being all empathetic and wanting to whine and just be emotional and was saying, trying to exaggerate the situation to get the empathy I was feeling like. And he says all of a sudden, could you just imagine what it would be like to be in a house like that with, or in a structure like that, taking on all that water and this happening? And I'm like,
What?
and I sat there and I was like, yeah, I can. I told you, remember? And
Oh
he
my
didn't. I was like, dude, what the fuck? Like,
God.
you could have said, hey, Salty, would you share your experience to explain the water type thing or whatever? But it was the way he
Yeah.
did it was very weird to me. And I thought, do you not remember our whole last conversation?
He wasn't listening. I mean, that's where I'm coming to at this point with some of these mother scratchers out here is they're not staying engaged. They have no interest in anybody outside themselves. And that is my opinion. And I'm happy to share it. That's what it feels like. He's listening. Oh God. You know, people make
Anyway,
me
this is Joe Schmo,
crazy.
people. He's making a comeback. Haven't you heard?
It's exciting. How great. And see the milieu, like look at the milieu he's chosen to be a part of, right?
He's going to talk about this London Valdez case. And to me, this is important because I know what he did and how he stumbled upon the case literally. So when he was covering that case and he was having her mother on the panel, on another lady that was the mother's best friend that had been running amok on Facebook or something. Anyway, they agreed to talk to Joe and come live. And they were directly accusing another boy.
Oh.
Okay. And that boy showed up in chat.
Oh no.
Young adult, maybe I should say. And he tried to defend himself and explain, and they attacked. After that was over, I didn't say a word.
Oh man.
I wasn't on panel. I was in chat. He had
Oh.
modded me and my mods up without even, it was just like whole thing. We were like, what? Okay. But anyway, I didn't do anything. I didn't know what to do. I was like, oh shit. And so after that, we had a conversation. I was like, dude, the way that was handled was the wrong way to handle that. And now an arrest was made in London's case, and it was not the guy they were pointing a finger at. It was the other guy they were pointing the finger at, but they were pointing it at two, knowing one, and the one was trying to explain in the chat, you know, but he bailed and never came back.
Wow.
And I was like, man, that may not end well in the future. You know what I mean?
No, and that's the kind of shit.
And then he recorded the conversation with a detective. I'm like, what?
Yeah, you know, that's just
This is my boots on the ground reporter.
Well, and see, this is the thing. It's like you have to. Oh God,
I mean, it's one thing to record the call, Andy, but to share it publicly and
do
all the things.
Well, yeah, and it's just there's so many things violated.
So my phone lets me know if someone's attempting to record the call. I had talked to Joe many times on the phone, never had a problem. After everything was going down, and whatever, you know, the last two times we tried to talk, I got a notice telling me out loud they're attempting to record this call. And I had to say both times, excuse me, Joe. He made an excuse both times. Oh, I must have hit a button. Like all these times we've talked, you might have hit a button suddenly. And I had to remind him, I'm in Florida, sir. You do not have the permission to record this phone call with me on it. Try again.
What?
And that was the end of that. No.
That's not an accident. I'm sorry.
No, you can't do that to a Florida resident. Excuse me?
I mean, you got to, and that's just it. It's like, so when I speak to somebody, even on background, if I need to record it so I can make notes,
you tell them.
Ask permission. I'll say, do you mind if I do X, Y, and Z for my notes?
Now, if I give you permission to record me, Andy, it's different.
Of course.
Right, in Florida. But if I have no clue you're doing it, oh, that's different.
Well, and that's the thing. So, but that's basics to me.
Yes.
That's basics. If you want to call yourself a boots on the ground journalist, you got to know what you can and cannot do. You have to ask permission. Two-party states or two-party states. Good Lord. I mean, it's fucking weird. And it just does people doing the work. I'm not even talking about myself. I'm talking about journalists who are out there with targets on their back. Save it. Save that shit.
Right. Exactly.
Gross. Yeah. Blech. Okay. Hang on. So let's see what this idiot has to say.
Married. And in a lot of ways, she's been able to move on with her life as much as possible.
Does he know their mother? Because he's acting like she's been able to move on her. He just said some stuff that suggests that he might know the mothers of the girls.
I think he's met them.
Okay. Well, boy, that's assuming a lot then, because I know there's other creators out here that know her. Whatever.
There's a lot of creators out there that have met the mothers,
Sure.
or at least one of them a lot.
Yeah. And the thing is, I think somebody earlier in the chat, when we were trying to figure out where he came in with Delphi, he befriended the family, which again is not a thing you do.
And like I mentioned, he linked up with Susan Hendricks early.
Right.
So I don't, because Susan linked up with the families. Susan, it was obvious to me during her coverage on HLN that she was starting to get close, right? To not like close to the investigation, close to the families, right? That was starting to seep in, and I could tell. And I'm like, this chick's got to know more than she's saying. These kind of things are going through my head. Did Connor meet the families through Susan?
Well, I mean, it's a good question, but I think that we were trying to figure out, and somebody had said before, and I'm talking going back, that Aspen somehow was a producer on something regarding a Delphi documentary. And I believe somebody in the chat said, and I think this might actually be right, is that he facilitated access to the family for a documentarian, and that in trade for producer credit. That, friends, does not a producer make, but whatever,
Well, with him being from the area, he probably had easier access to the family.
Sure. Oh,
through a friend, or going down there and talking and asking, lurking around.
Yeah. And he may, what, maybe he did some pre-interview. I don't know, but man, I'm looking at this dude and I'm like,
I mean, I know the local family of my, the missing case I follow. And you and I've spoken knowing a family member and how we handle that. But how you and I handle that is not like these other people handle it, Andy. This is not.
Correct. That's absolutely right.
We don't go and promote it and talk about it and
no,
hook them up with all these other people. And you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's certainly not people,
we protect them.
Yes. At all costs. So let's see what this fool is saying.
But she also says that she's stuck in a cycle of not being able to continue on with life because everything she loved the most about life was taken away from her that night.
Well, no shit.
I just want that to be the thing that sticks in people's minds when they think about those girls.
Oh, when was he appointed spokesperson for those girls? Right?
I have no idea. Didn't know that I wasn't aware that he ever was. I've never seen him. Even when I was watching R&M all the time, or T, I don't know that I've ever heard much talk about this guy. You know what I mean? That's why I'm like, where'd he come from, Andy?
He's made look,
the Delphi places you and I roll, I don't recall him being a factor, right?
Well, and the thing is that here's how I look at it. Until I see a family member come forth and say, this man gets to speak for me. No. Would this be the guy you choose?
Well, families
I know. Families are desperate too.
Right. And here's a prime example. Tony Mathis, may he rest in peace, was a crane operator supervisor guy out of Texas. Caleb Harris goes missing. His dad also works for the same crane operating company. Tony becomes his spokesperson for social media because the case is garnering a lot of attention on social media. The next thing we know, when Sebastian Rogers goes missing and his own father comes onto social media and causes a fucking mess, here comes Tony Mathis to be the cleanup crew. Now he's the spokesperson for the family of Sebastian Rogers as well, or at least the father. So, and that's where the guy came from. He was a fucking crane operator supervisor, no media training whatsoever. And now he's spokesperson for 2 high-profile missing person cases.
No.
Like that's how, and so yeah, I could see him worming his way to the family. I know social media. I know how to navigate this
Yeah.
for you, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure that Kay probably heard the same from Lauren.
Yeah.
I know how to navigate this for you.
Yep.
Remember, Kresha spoke about having the red flags, and Kay was, but Lauren's nice. Lauren's not Kay's fault.
Yep.
It's not Kay's fault.
Yep.
But Kresha tells us how this happens. Is nobody listening, right?
Mhm. Yeah. 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 Growth. Oh my God. Ugh. So apparently subtext is saying that he's tight with Anna, but not.
Oh, really? It's Anna? Not okay.
I was thinking.
Interesting.
And the fact that she's able to even function is amazing.
And smile. I mean, that woman
Yeah.
infectious smile. And she was a baby herself when this happened. I mean,
Yes.
I mean, I'm old enough now that 28 is a baby to me.
Yeah, exactly.
Sir, this is the end of the world again stream. I just want to remind people how they are pitching this to their audience and what they're talking about. It's infuriating that they're doing this again to me.
Using end of the world to draw attention for Chad Daybell's end of the world to draw attention to these cases.
Why still give that person any space?
Any fucking breath.
Why? It's not funny. It's not cute. If you want to have a 24-hour stream, ma'am, go and have a 24-hour stream with you and your weirdo friends.
Look, and we are having a hard enough time keeping Lori Vallow down. The girl is trying her best to get that appeal in Idaho actively right now. Let her go, y'all. She's not lucrative except to web sleuths. Come on, man. Enough of her. Enough of her and Chad already. What they did was devastating. I watched Nate Eaton track that heifer down in Hawaii with a camera in her face screaming, "Where's your kids, Lori Vallow?" And me standing in my kitchen going, "Thank God my babies are safe and I don't want to unalive them today."
Yeah.
Now, I don't got no sympathy for Lori and Chad. And I'm sick of hearing about Lori and Chad unless we really want to talk about the damage they did. But now we're going to celebrate that Chad got a date wrong, y'all. And it's really not the end of the world yet. And don't call 911. Tricia's not dead. She's just asleep.
It's a fucking knee slapper. I don't know, Phoenix. Why they doing this, Aunt?
Why you do this? Fiend, why you do this?
Why you do this? Oh shit! It's just
Hey, Fiend had my back in the most unexpected place the other day, so we're good.
Love me some Fiend. I mean,
I know you can't help but love that Fiend. I'm sorry.
So subtext is saying that he's apparently close with Patty's too. Yeah, I mean this is part of the issue to me as well. And Salty brought up the trying to get a retrial and the fact that Lori Vallow is, and that's part of the problem too. How far have some of the creators involved in this, and I mean involved in some corners of the interwebs to an intimate degree, causes issues for appeals? And I look at what happened with what's her nuts, Jesus Christ, Courthouse Becky, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that shit show. And then also how, and I know it's not exactly an analog, but Mandy Matney, and I'll talk about this maybe one day, and I'm not going to have a discussion about it intensely today, but that woman didn't show up for a deposition. And it's just, there's so much
I'm here for it.
There's so much fuckery around this case, right? She could show up and not say anything. Like
she was so involved with the early investigation into the Mallory Beach boat accident, right?
Yep.
So there's a lot to unpack with that one, but yeah, I understand where you're going.
Yeah. So that's, I mean, but the thing, I guess my thing is that we see in cases like the Murdoch case, how private individuals, whether they are working in a courthouse or a reporter who did a lot of work in the upfront, who got too big for their boots, it seems like, and decided to ignore an actual court order to just go and be deposed. She could have said, I'm not telling you shit, which is what I would do. I'd show up. But it's that my point is that these people are now involving themselves either by hook or by crook. And there's right and wrong ways to handle this. And she learned the fucking hard way. She learned the fucking hard way.
She did. And she she involved herself early.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one thing to get the story, but it's crossing a line, and then not showing up. So there's a whole thing behind all of that. And it goes into the, media journalism and all these things and trying to do, it's hard to be even seen when you're out here trying your best to do it right. Because a lot of people are doing it wrong. And in putting out misinformation is so dangerous. We already have enough issues in the legal justice system, in my opinion.
Yes.
The have-nots are screwed, according to Alan Jackson, because it's going to take a lot of money to defend myself if something goes crazy and I get falsely accused.
Yes.
And it turns out to be a high-profile case accidentally or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Things can happen, apparently. So we already got issues. Jury tampering across the board. We got 2 trials right now being Letitia and Murdaugh on jury tampering stuff. Now, about that, Joe Schmo out there, boots on the ground, covering Lori Vallow, gonna make a name for himself on Lori Vallow, was reviewing an interview with one of the jurors after the trial. I think it was the first trial, Charles' trial.
Yeah.
So, and the juror mentions hearing something on the radio, the news, whatever, about Lori, learning about her prior the charges in Idaho, because the jurors in Arizona did not know, or were not supposed to know, about her charges in Idaho, that she's serving, time in prison for murder over there. But anyway, so when the guy mentions that, Joe's like, oh my God, did you hear what he just said? And he backs it up. He was so proud of himself because he thought he caught the juror saying he knew of Vallow's prior convictions before they rendered their verdict. Mm-hmm. So then he goes and makes a video and he puts all the words on the screen and it goes out to YouTube. Then what was that? Courtroom Confidential guy saw it, plays it, shouts it out. Joe Schmo picks this up. Then it's kind of like on the national media for a minute. He was proud of it. We had a conversation. I said, let me ask you a question, Joe. I said, what if that guy did know about her conviction prior because he heard it on the news on that morning accidentally on the way to trial, or that yesterday evening on the way home? What if he did? What if you just pointed all that out and now Lori Vallow gets a new trial because of a mistrial? Are you going to be taking credit for it? Well, and he didn't know what he was floored. He's like, oh my God. And I was like, well, I mean, if it's legit, it's legit, but it wasn't, right?
Well, but that's the thing. So it's like it's like I always refer to the gospel according to Kenny Rogers. And you must know when to hold them, know when to fold them, right?
Know when to walk away and know when to run.
Now, if you came across that and if I came across that and I thought, oh my God, this guy is now saying that he knew about this and didn't disclose it to the judge, that is a problem, right?
It is.
That's a legit problem. But the thing is you got to do your due diligence, Joe, on the front end of that to make sure that that's an actual factual statement before you've now shot that around the world.
Right.
And so not doing that you're just making a horse's ass.
He thought he had a breaking story. He thought he was about to go on court TV type shit.
Well, if that's but the thing again too, maybe I got, I don't know, man. Maybe I just don't have the same aspirations. I don't give a shit about that kind of stuff, but I guess there people are. It's just so gross. Yucky.
Icky behavior.
Correct. So,
I mean, this man sat there and cried on a live stream when talking about Charles Vallow. No. And I reminded him about that when he was going all in for Lauren Matthias and downplaying Tricia to me on the phone. I said, Joe, I said, you went live to talk about the man Charles Vallow was, and you cried on a live stream. And he's like, you're right. I'm like, yeah, well, you quit, hang up the phone with me, man, and call Cresha.
Yeah.
The fuck are you doing? Anyway.
And she, you know, she's an infectious smile, and she's able to like talk about those girls. I mean, you saw the clip where she was talking about their personalities, and she was able to laugh and smile. And that's
How do you know Aspen Connor? Is it because you watched? I mean, this is the thing, and maybe he did, but good God, clean yourself up, weirdo.
should be remembered about those girls is their personalities.
Right.
Even
Absolutely.
If you know, even if
How about being remembered for not having a goddamn killer found yet? Yes, there's smiles. Yes, all of those things. But stop leaning into making yourself seem palatable by talking about beautiful little girls who were the victims of a horrible crime. You absolute beast.
they were 5, 7, 9, and 11, I believe. You know, they were unique little girls, and every one of them deserves to be remembered.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, hang on just a minute here. Here we go. Absolutely. I mean, just these beautiful, sweet, incredible babies.
Do you want to say their names again, Salty, for us all? Because apparently these people aren't. Ooh, is she gone? Salty might have put herself on mute.
Okay, I'm sorry, I was on mute.
No, that's okay.
So, you know, she recently gets this photo with their names, but then she goes on to later to say there's a whole discussion on her websleuths.com about these fires. I'm like, what? But you just found out the other day when somebody mailed you this. Okay, whatever. But this is Kiara, I'm sorry, Cariel, and then Keone. So I'll say it again.
Ladies.
Kiana was 11. She was the oldest. Kiara was 9. Cariel was 7. And Keone was 5.
Yeah.
And the neighbors who said these little girls were happy. They were well cared for. They would be outside playing and they would wave to the neighbors. They were polite.
Yeah.
There was nothing wrong with this little single mom trying to raise her 4 girls.
Yeah. Yes. Amen. I mean, look at that. Okay.
Hang on here. Just a second. Where is it? Oh my gosh.
And again, Kim, Kim, thank you for everything you've done.
Who? Kim?
Sorry, you cut off just a little bit, my dear.
Kim, thank you for everything you've done. You know who you are.
Yeah, I don't know who that was he was talking to.
This up here, just a minute.
Kim?
Yeah, someone named Kim. He thanks for everything, and I don't know who that is or what they did.
Oh God, who knows? I mean, you know what you did. Okay. Ugh.
What'd you do, Kim?
Right. What did you do, Kim?
Where did it go? Where the heck did it go?
And again, like I said, there are people like Kathy Clinton and Jinx, Rescue All the Dogs. There are people that love and support this case more and know more about it than I do. So I'm not pretending to be qualified to speak on it.
I'm not pretending to be qualified to speak on it, sir.
Yep.
On a panel.
Then what are you doing, sir?
Right.
Speaking, right? Andy, I don't know.
Shit
We
bag.
can't, y'all. We can't. See why we can't? This is why we can't.
Nope. No. And I think, we've made our fucking point. But these people, so let's see what she's up to in present time. Oh, she's talking to this. Yeah, so she's still going on and on and on. And there they go. They get their little caps on, sleeping caps.
Are they all awake now? Oh my God. There's people there.
Yeah.
Oh, well, there's a lady there. Stacy's still there in her tinfoil hat person.
Yep, she sure is. Black. Okay.
So I wonder if she'll have guests throughout the day. Is she going to go live all? Because you and I were confused last night, wondering, is this 2 separate live streams? Because there's 2 things scheduled up, guys. And so Andy's like, so not an end of the world party, but 2 live streams. And I was like, it looks that way. But it looks like they never stopped the first live stream, but yet
Right.
there was a second one set up for tonight. And I guess it still is. I don't know. I didn't check I don't know what she's doing over there. Y'all know it's Tricia, the old bat in the hats. We're clueless half the time. We just got to follow along.
So subtext is saying Kim Riley. Don't know.
Kim Riley wasn't he the old prosecutor? Is that subtext? Do I have that wrong?
That's
No,
in Carroll
that was
County?
Ives. That was Robert
Ives.
Ives.
Mhm.
Wait, who is Riley? But wait, I know the name.
Oh, yeah. I think you're right. Hang on, let's see.
Yeah, I forgot the relevancy sub. I know the name, but I just forgot.
No,
Sergeant, ISP, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. Yes, Kim Riley was with ISP. Thank you, subtext.
Okay, so all right, yeah.
So I'm going to review. I want to review it. Like I said, if she gets me, she gets me. I don't care. But the conversation between Joe and Aspen about Flora and Delphi I want to hear the whole conversation.
Yeah.
And I didn't yet.
Aspen is close to Holman. Of course he is.
Yes.
Isn't Aspen thanked?
It's Holman, guys. He's friends with he's selectively friends with everybody. Well, if you're willing to push his narrative, he's your friend.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we've heard, it was no surprise to me. Holman talks to a lot of people, including that Frankenstein guy.
Yep. Oh, Lord mercy. Yeah, that guy. Loose lips.
Sink ships. Haven't you heard all them Indiana guys? I'm telling you what.
Mm-hmm.
Stay away, red flags. There's 3 now. That's 3 now.
God. All right. Well, I mean, I think that we've done all we can do here. You got it. What are you doing next? So you're doing you are going to be informing your community on what are the 2 cases you've got coming up?
Well, we're gonna cover the Lindsay Clancy trial.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot going on with that, legalities and stuff that will come into play. So we're going to be they're on jury selection, and they are still doing that process. And I don't want to cover that. That's like tedious. So anyway, we're going to cover that trial, and I got to get caught up on where they are at with that. And also the David, Singer David out there, the Celeste Rivas case.
Oh, yes.
He has his prelim happening right now. Day 2, expected to be 3 to 5 days. A lot of circumstantial preliminary evidence coming into the case. So it was actually a lot yesterday, and it was heavy. So I got to get that update out as well. But I also feel like I need to throw in a little Joe Schmo coverage because I need to hear that conversation.
Hang on.
Maybe I should review it and take some notes and then discuss and then play parts of it. I don't know. Like I said, I don't care. At this point, I don't care.
No, and I think the thing is that it is okay to live stream someone else's live stream. I believe it's just you have to be well behind. And I mean, if they're going to run 24-hour live streams as a means to head off any criticism.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much. I think because I went back, I knew Jay was live last night, but I wasn't over there. I was doing a little recon at Web Sleuth and falling asleep off and on like Tricia. And so I did go back this morning and look, and I think Jay did play some of that live, but not like continuous play, right?
Got it.
So I'm going to go review and see what she did, make sure her shit's still up. Are we good, Jay? Where are you at, Jay? Are we good?
Yep. Tell me about it, because I think she is. I mean, I think she popped in here a minute ago, but yeah.
Okay.
Olap, she got me. Well, she got me twice.
Olap, what you doing out there? You're running feral in them streets.
Yeah.
Damn you, Olap. Doing the Lord's work, as Andy likes to say.
That's right. Doing the Lord's work, listening to the nonsense and bullshit and
no, not the nonsense.
No, not that. I mean, you know what I mean.
I know what you mean. I was just
let me see. So I think
Subtext is
cover
I
the
fell
hits.
asleep listening to, you know what? She fell asleep listening to Jay. You know what put me to sleep last night? Was
Mhm.
trying to stay awake to listen to the conversation between Joe and that Connor guy. He's slow. What, y'all, come on, have a conversation here instead of just going in and saying these. It puts you to sleep. It's not interesting, it's boring, and then the stuff they're saying is it's not even real. You know what I mean? And I'm like,
Right.
and I kept falling asleep. So
Right.
this morning I was like, I gotta review that shit because now that I'm awake, I can tolerate it. I gotta speed it up, like you said. You gotta speed those guys up.
1.5. I had to 1.5 it.
Yeah.
Well, let me let you go. But Olaf, I just want to say to you that, yeah, Tricia, it wasn't a copyright. What it was is her mod, who is it Midnight something or other? Oh shit, what's her name? There's a mod of hers that was in my chat twice when I was reading her publicly available court filings. Also, hashtag August 12th, Dallas County Court, probate court number 3, featuring Grifty McFarty Pants getting yeeted, hopefully from a case. But oh God, what is her name? Not Moonlight View. Yeah, Moonlight View. That's the name of her mod. One of her mods was in my chat being a jerk. And then next thing I know, I'm getting a phone call from Precious saying, hey, your stream just went down. And so then it happened again. And then I didn't speak to, but had emails back and forth with YouTube saying, hey, look, here's the deal. There's nothing bullying in providing public information. This is ridiculous, harassing and bullying, and it happened when I was talking about Tricia, when Moonlight View was in my chat. And I'm like, yeah, it's probably them, but whatever. It got put right back up. Anyway, just gross. Just
Troublemaker is HTC, says. Okay.
Yep.
I thought this was Troublemaker Baker.
Nope, it was Moonlight View or something like that. But anyway,
Tricia dresses like a weirdo. I'm sorry. I don't like normally what people look like and what they wear. I don't care less. But she sits there in the weirdest stuff sometimes, and I don't know what's happening half the time with her attire.
Oh,
like, just could you be consistent, Tricia? Because I don't know what's going on half the time. One day you're a man, and one day you're a woman, and one day you're an old bat in a hat.
Right.
It's multi-person.
I want to share one thing for colon blow for us, like colon blow for the soul. And this is something that Subtext posted, so I don't know if you'd seen it yet. It's like, let me just share it. Hang on a second. It's, hang on, let me share it. And then I'm going to just exit stage left like I always do. Hang on. And I thought this was so cute, and delivers a message. Have you seen this yet, Salty? It's hang on, I gotta select the right goddamn tab. It's some boots on the ground investigating being perpetrated up in here by but get a load of this. Let me play this. So it says Beth B's only creditors. Now, you know the story behind Beth B and her money going to, hang on, Tri-City Animal Center. That's where all of her money is supposed to be going, except it's being held up in probate court because Tricia's trying to get in on that. Okay. So that's the hearing that's coming up that I'm banging on about on April 12th. So Subtext did some boots on the ground reporting from the place that is actually the beneficiary of Janet Wolford's money. Look at those babies. Look at them. Could you die? Look at those little babies.
Yeah.
So this is the animal shelter. These are the only creditors that should be allowed on the case. But oh my God. So this is Subtext over at X. And I just thought that was so cute. But anyway, thank you so much, Salty. I'm gonna
Well,
let you
thank
go.
you.
Then I'm just gonna say bye to all my peeps, and then I'm gonna
Yeah.
leave in my usual way.
Yeah, and thanks for having me, and thanks everybody for tuning in and listening to us. I appreciate it, and I'll see you guys later when I go live.
Yes, go over there
Hopefully.
for sure.
All
Okay.
right. Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Andy.
Okay,
Bye
catch
bye.
up with you soon. So yeah, anyway, so that I thought was a fitting way to talk about the babies that are actually owed the money. Angels. Look at them. Thank you guys so much for coming on and hanging out. We went early this morning, but there they are. There's the only creditors to Beth B's estate. And as always, please drop your cute pups or cute kitties or turtles or bats or rats or cats in the community page because I am putting together my pet of the week video. I know, nerdy, but who cares? We all need a little colon blow for the soul. And I do. I absolutely hate you guys